Ready on a scale of 1 to 10.
Like 7.23.
Oh, that's really specific.
Yeah, I mean, I try my best. You know, I gotta be honest, you know.
That's good.
About how I feel.
Oh, I feel the same way.
That's good. It's good to be honest about your feelings.
Yeah. Welcome to Tampon Talk with Mary. Welcome to the show that only airs once a month. Hello. Welcome to the Thanksgiving month. Share your periods with your family. I'm sorry. Quick story. So here's my rapid story for the month. I was coming back on the metro from LA to like San Diego area. And I, in mid-metro, realized I had this tampon in for too long. Because I started getting like really dizzy and like really warm. And I was like, why is that? And I was like, oh, I've had this tampon in for like over 12 hours. I was like, oh, this is so bad. And I was like, shit. So I'm not gonna get home until like really, really late. And that's the only place I could take it out. So I was like, okay, here's what I did. So I got a flannel and I put it over my lap. And I yanked out this tampon on the metro. And I threw it in the trash can on the metro without anybody seeing. So shout out to the metro system. I'm so sorry. That's my registry.
Well, I mean, kudos to you for being sneaky about that. Isn't the time limit for tampons like something like 4 hours?
Something like that.
I mean, that's what I don't. I have never researched this, but yeah, I mean, it's something I've heard. It's like pads for like 6 to 8 hours, and then tampons for 2 to 4, something like that.
Yeah, because then Diva cups are kind of like the half day one because it can have it can hold the most. As far as I understand.
It's most capacity.
But I had it.
You just went and.
I got my money's worth out of that tampon. That's for sure. It was like, I think I put it in at like 8 a.m, and it was around like 7:30 when I was like, oh, this is still in my body. So I took that out.
Did you even have like a replacement, or is it just?
No, I didn't. See, I was
living on the edge. Okay, I mean, you know.
I was kind of near the end anyway, so I was like, wasn't gonna be like as bad. But I was like, I'm not that bold where I can both take this out and put one in, like, on the metro.
That'd be, I'd be impressed by that even more. I'm already impressed.
Oh, thank
but that's because I couldn't imagine myself doing that on a metro.
Oh, God.
That's just, so.
I was kind of in the corner of my car, and they were, like, two men kind of sleeping, kind of not, and I was like, all right,
okay,
let me do this.
Well, I applaud you. Good for
you.
Good for you.
Let me introduce my guest. Javi, hello. We are buds. But
we're biffles.
We're biffles.
We're BFFs, best friends forever. Not for life, forever. It's gonna last
forever.
Forever.
I'm
She's gonna die, and I'm gonna visit her grave, or vice versa.
We're both gonna be buried next to each other. There's no way we can visit.
We've already planned this out.
Yeah. It's been decided.
We're gonna have our funerals at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, so I'm Javier, the non-Spanish speaking Hispanic.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I go to school with Mary. She does film, if I remember correctly, and I do video games, if I remember correctly. I don't know what any of us does, but we go to school together, I think. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's. I'm glad we're both here.
We are both here.
That's the definitive fact.
We are both here. Yeah. So. I'm glad to be here.
This is good weed.
I don't usually partake, but you offered and so, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to be rude,
Right.
So, thank you.
The Gamma Tangerine, the bubonic chronic.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm not super into the weed lingo.
I only heard. Okay. Confession. I did hear that on Workaholics, and that's why I know that name.
Okay, I forgive you.
Thank you.
Since it's a confession.
Thanks.
So, yeah, no, I know. Like the super basic, like you smoke weed, you have a bong.
Right.
And I don't.
A bomb.
A bowl.
Nice.
You can smoke out of a bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but you can do it. There's oh man, I'm forgetting. There's a doobie.
Yeah.
There's the big one, the cigar version, which I don't remember the name of. Right? Yeah, I should know this.
I feel like you die.
Anyway, I don't smoke weed. I might sound like it though, but that's just because I'm very laid back.
It's just because you're not uptight, okay? Tampon Talk viewers,
yeah,
don't
exactly.
get so upset.
We're just sitting here, you know, smoking our not weed, drinking our cranberry juice for, as I've just learned, the prevention of yeast infection.
You're not getting a yeast infection, on my show.
I'm not getting a yeast infection on this period. That's for sure.
Not today.
Not today. So thank you, Mary, for that.
Yeah. Let me just check a lug. So I did the. You know my segments because you actually listen to my episodes.
Am I the first, or has there been someone who?
You're the first.
I'm the first person.
You are the first.
So like I'm the fan who gets to come on the show. That's cool.
Yeah.
Except we've known each other since before I knew the show was a thing. So it's like support.
So you're just a better friend than everybody who's on.
So good for me.
Shout out to Javi.
I'm the best. That's not true. But
I'm, you are though.
I'm pretty good, I guess.
Don't sell yourself.
So anyway, what's the next segment?
Let's just jump into tampon terror. So so for women it's just like, what is your story of like embarrassing periods? But you were kind of just talking to me before we got started about like a girlfriend and
I have had a girlfriend and
with it?
Yeah, so I guess I'll talk about something with her, not because I've never had a period, nor have I ever used a tampon, which is what I tried saying. So I don't have any personal tampon terror stories. And yeah, so I mean, this girlfriend, we went out. She I asked her out 5 years ago. She broke up with me 3 years ago. So there's actually not a lot I remember. So what I was talking about wasn't really like a terrible story. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess if it's hard to remember because it was so long ago. But if there's any like tampon horror story that I could remember, we went to university together. Mm-hmm. And she was, we have our different schedules, but we'd wait for each other, after class and all, it was very romantic and whatnot at the time. But she was in this seminar. I don't remember how long it was, but it was longer than it should have been, and she, sort of similar to your story, it was like there was some complication. I don't remember if it was in there for too long or something, but she's like, I don't have another one. Like I forgot to pack extras, so like she called me or like texted me. I'm like, could you get me something? And I'll meet you outside. And I'm like, okay. I'd never bought, and after that, nor have I again bought tampons. So it was a very weird experience. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's the horror part, is that she was in this uncomfortable situation with whatever she was dealing with. I don't think she bled through. But, and I had to go to like a Walgreens or something by my house because I was at home also.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna go do homework. Bye, Mom. And then I go to this Walgreens. And I like wander through the women's hygiene aisle because I have no idea what any of this is supposed to look like. I'm just like looking for tampon. And I found is Tampax just general like care, or is it tampon specifically? I don't remember.
Yeah, they're mostly just tampons.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found tampons, and I found Tampax. Got confused. I'm like, that's not. Oh wait, it might. And then I like read it, and it was. So I got tampons, and I had to like go to the lady. I'm like, okay, that's what I want, and I had,
Right.
I like nervously got a candy bar because I felt awkward about it. I'm like, that's okay.
It's like when you buy like condoms, I guess. It's
yeah, right.
Let me mask this under other things. You're obviously gonna see it.
Here's a candy bar. Here's some headphones. Here's a condom, and so So I buy these things and the lady, I mean, I'm sure she deals with this all the time. She's just like, okay, beep, beep, that's this. And I'm like, that's it? Like, okay,
that's it?
I mean, I was expecting to, like, I was obviously not, but, like, it felt like I was going to be put in trial. Like, what are you going to use these tampons for? And I'm like, my period. Shh, damn it. No, so. Dang it. I mean, it was very anticlimactic. It was just, I was, like, nervous the whole time. Because I'm, like, 18, 19 years old at this point. Mm-hmm. So I drove to the school, and, like, I had the tampons, like, deep in my book bag. Because, like, what if I bumped into, like, a friend or a professor, and they're like, oh, what's up, Javi? What's in your book bag?
Just immediately ask.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's, like, obviously, then, in retrospect, they're like, oh, they're not going to, like, I'm not going to see anyone, but my nervous brain is like, they're going to, like, find the tampon and think I'm weird or pervert.
I picture just little Javi with, like, books, and then he, like, bumps into somebody, just tampons fall all over the ground.
Yeah, the books fall, like, it's like the books are cut out and just rolls of tampons or however you organize tampons just fly out. Gay, or I don't think you'd be gay for having tampons, but you'd be weird. So and then I meet my girlfriend and then pass her the tampon and then she puts in and we kiss and leave, and so it was very anticlimactic, like in retrospect, but the whole time I was just nerve-wracked because of this terrible awkward experience.
No, yeah. that just makes you a good boyfriend.
Well, I mean, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. It'd be terrible if I went through this awkward experience and my girlfriend was like, ugh, these aren't the ones I wanted, and throws them and, like, kicks me in the shins and stuff. So I'm glad I'm a good boyfriend, or I was. I'm not in a relationship now anymore. Yeah.
Tampon Talk viewers, all two of you.
All two of you, in
viewers, listeners,
yeah. Viewers of the thumbnail, I guess, yeah. If you're staring at that for however long.
Right.
Yeah.
The people who are in my area are just starting to learn that I'm doing this, which is terrifying for myself, because I'm like, oh, now we have to talk about it.
It's like, oh yeah, Mary, I like that episode of Tampon Talk, and you're like, It's like someone coming up to you like, hey Mary, I saw that video of you recording your period. It's like, don't watch that. Yeah.
They're a little...
I guess it's a little less awkward because you can't actually see anything.
Yeah. I think it got... So there was an episode... When I was a video format, I did an episode with my mom when I went home, and then literally the next episode was when I came back here, and we did a period sex debate after that.
Oh.
And she was like... she's like, oh, you should, like, send me more episodes. Like, I think this concept is so cool, and all my coworkers really like it. And I was like, maybe not this one. No.
We got to nitpick what we talk about.
That's right. Yeah. Shout out to my mom. My mom's really cool. I like my mom.
Shout out to Mrs. Flynn.
Yeah. Oh, Lisa.
You raised them good. You done good. Yeah. So.
Yes. So that was just. Why was that scary for you? Were you just uncomfortable?
Well, I mean, it was the combination of never having done something before, mm-hmm. which, I mean, I don't know if this is, like a common thing, but every time I do something new for the first time, I, like, have this mini anxiety attack that, like, if I make any mistakes, someone's gonna crucify me, and like, I went on, there's the March for Life in D.C., mm-hmm. the pro-life march.
Oh, when did you go?
And I went freshman year. And so it was the first trip, as in high school. I was with new people. I'd never been in an airport without my parents.
Do you know what year that was? We might have been at it at the same time.
2009?
I might have been there, actually.
2009. Yeah, there are a few friends of mine who are like, oh yeah, I might have been there. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I mean, I would have never met you because there's thousands of millions of people.
That's right.
Or millions. I don't know how many people go, but a lot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, you have to check in and get your ticket, and something went wrong. I don't remember because it was so long ago. But, one of the chaperones, like my religion teacher, like, he, like, got mad at me because I learned after that he hates airports. But he got mad at me, and, like, what I remember is, like, tunnel vision, like, his face filled my view, and it was just this red fury of just anger, and, like, I almost pissed myself. I was so scared. So ever since then, like, I've been scared of, like, trying new things for the first time. It's gotten much better because it's an irrational thing, but, like, at the time, I was buying tampons for the first time, and it was this terrifying experience. Like, I'm a guy, I don't use tampons. That's no one can find out. So it was scary because it was something new that I'd never done before, and it was something that, I mean, at least for guys, like it's just a weird thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm buying this for my girlfriend's vagina. That's not really something you talk about in public or otherwise a non-podcast format such as this.
Right. Even just any other podcast.
Yeah, right. I mean, that'd be a little weird. Just to talk about tampons and vaginas and periods, just not when you're already talking about those things, I would imagine it'd be kind of strange. But yeah, it was just a lot of anxiety. It was like I was doing a secret mission, and I'd be killed if I got caught. It was very, very terrifying in that regard.
And have you done it again? Have you ever bought them for, like, your friends or other?
No. And not out of fear or anything. Like, the occasion never arose. Mm-hmm. Or, like, a girl would be like, oh, I'm out of tampons, and I'd be like, I'll get them for you, and like put on my superhero cape, right? Like, I'm not against doing it. It's just never come up, No one's asked me to buy them tampons, though. Is that how it works? No, again, I've never done this. I don't know how that works. Am I supposed to, like, just do it and be like, I heard you're on your period. Here are your tampons, And they're like, I use pads. Who are you?
How dare you?
And I'm like, oh,
swine.
Dang it.
Yeah, women can do what they want. That's fine. There's women who won't use tampons because they think it's, like, removing their virginity.
Of course.
Right.
Of course. I mean, what else would it be?
Penis.
Yeah. It's about the same size.
Right.
On average, I know, I'm kidding.
I just
Yeah. Yeah, so and then the story that we were talking about before the podcast that I said I wouldn't talk about, but whatever.
All right.
I've already had, half a cup of cranberry juice. I'm way into this.
Things are getting loose.
Right.
Things are getting loose and yeast free.
Oh, I hope so. It's
no bread. We're not making any bread.
No. Not
this vagina.
Anyway. So I was talking about how, we were talking about my experiences with tampons and periods and stuff, and when I went out with this girl, there'd be periods where that was not an intended pun.
My God.
I did not intend that.
I can't believe you made a pun on my show.
I'm so sorry. But, like, we hung out a lot, which I think is obvious. And so, like, on her period, we'd just be at home and she'd have her little, like, cramped pillow thing. Mm-hmm. And then if she had to go to the bathroom, I wouldn't want to stop hanging out with her, so I'd go in the bathroom and just sit, like, in the corner, and, like, she'd be there, and we'd just talk, we'd play on our, like, we had DSs at the time, we'd just play whatever. Yes. I just sat there and we just talked. She was like, isn't this weird for you? I'm like, it's probably weird for anyone else, but I'm fine, It's not, I've seen blood, and I know it's not the same thing, but they're both red. And they come out of your body, so yeah. It's fine, So, yeah, those are my two types of experiences with periods: either terrifyingly anxious ridden or super chill and, you know, it doesn't matter.
But that's like
probably a little weird.
That's like adorable.
Well, I mean, thanks.
Did I make it awkward?
No. I mean, if anything, that makes it less awkward.
Thanks.
Because, like, imagine being on a first date. It's like, if you ever need to go to the bathroom on your period, I'll hang out with you.
Like, I got you.
Yeah, that'd be a weird first date kind of thing. But I'm glad you think it's adorable.
I that's definitely a keeper quality, I'd say.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. I couldn't get my dad to come on the show. Because I had my mom on, I really wanted my dad to come on. My dad's a cop. And I was like, you've literally gotten shot at and you've seen blood and crime, but you can't come on and talk about periods for like at least 5 minutes.
Just 5. You know, a little mini episode. Yeah, that's...
A tiny thing.
Yeah, I guess I never understood the fear of talking about periods. But, you know, buying period products is a different thing because it's physical and you have to... At least for me at the time, it was this terrifying experience. But, like, just talking about it, like... Especially if it's just conceptual.
Yeah.
I never really understood the fear that guys have, or I mean the rampant ignorance and just confusion that guys have about periods. It never made sense to me.
Because I stand by the theory that like everybody is affected by a period at least at some point in their life.
I mean, yeah, insofar as everyone has seen a woman at some point in the month, it's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, just don't be ignorant. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a supernatural process, and
the ghosts give me periods.
The moon, Mother Nature, punches you in the uterus.
Yeah.
And you bleed for 2 to 7 days, and I mean that's fine. You know,
that's how that works.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, guys should just be glad that they don't have to go through that, because another thing that I get annoyed at my sex. I get annoyed at guys a lot who are like, oh, you know, periods aren't that bad, or like, you know, pregnancy isn't that bad.
Oh my god.
Like that weird whole like, I mean, I haven't heard too many guys talk like that, but like that whole, you know, debate like who suffers more pain, guys or girls. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, girls give birth and have periods every month. What do we do? Nothing. I mean, nothing that, you know, we don't have control over, right? Like our bodies don't like inflict this upon us. I mean, not that the body inflicts pregnancy upon you. That's your own damn fault. And most of the time it's a beautiful thing, if not all the time.
Nice.
But yeah, it's like guys who are like, oh yeah, pregnancy's not that bad, and I'm like, what? What?
Excuse me?
But it's so big, the baby, and you can't do that. And it's the same thing with periods, where guys are like, oh, periods aren't that bad, and I'm like, would you like to bleed out of your penis for 7 days out of a month, while it also like makes you cramp to no end, and then you also hate everything, you know, sometimes with mood swings? You know, that's most of what I know about periods.
I mean, you got it pretty down.
Mood swings, cramps, and blood. You know, the best natural cocktail in the human body.
The trifecta of pleasure.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, I know you have it's like a question game, boners or bleed outs.
Yeah.
And I think everyone that I've heard, I haven't listened to. I started listening recently, so I've only heard like 5 or 6 episodes. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm pretty sure everyone on your show has been like, oh yeah, bleed outs, obviously.
Yeah, I think has been an overwhelming majority. There are a couple times I have gotten boner. I always still argue bleed out though. Yeah, I mean,
why? It's like, would you rather have, you know, like a wart or a gunshot? You know, one is a protrusion that someone might see, you know, especially like if it's under your shirt, it's not going to be well seen. But a gunshot hurts like hell, bleeds everywhere, and you know you have to drink cranberry juice to prevent yeast infection, right? So, like, obviously a period isn't a gunshot, but, I mean, to me it might as well be as painful, because I don't know. But, like, a boner is just a protrusion that you get when you're feeling a certain way about a girl you love.
Or guy.
Or guy. Or if you don't love them. I'm being stupid. But I mean, basically it's just this thing that's there, and it doesn't bleed, and it doesn't hurt. I mean, most of the time it feels good, right? But with I mean, do periods ever feel good? Is that like a thing?
No, I didn't my experience. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this.
I didn't think so. So it's this clean, mostly, protrusion that just is there, and it doesn't hurt, and it usually feels good, versus, this just flow of blood that can stain your clothes and people can see, and it hurts, and it lasts for a boner like they're like, oh, if you take Viagra and your boner lasts more than 4 hours, see a doctor. Periods last like a week to a week and a half. I can't imagine a week-long boner. I don't want to either.
What would you do?
I have no. I'd hide. I'd see my doctor is what I'd do.
Would you like high five your doctor? Just like, nice.
My man. No, I'd be like, help. It's been like this for 7 days. Am I dying?
Would that throw off your center of gravity if you had it for like a week?
I think you'd adjust, right?
Oh, I guess so.
And then once it goes down, you're like, whoa. It's like getting off a ship. You're like, whoa. That's.
Or that feeling of like when you're walking on a treadmill for a while and then you get off and it's like you kind of feel like you're walking faster than life. Yeah. I feel like it'd be that kind of same feeling, but like or
like when you go to the gym and you lift weights and then you put the weight down, you do that same movement, you're like, whew, your arms just like shoot up, or yeah.
Because, but if those arms were penises,
right? that would be awkward. What if your arms bled? 7 days in a month,
and they were penises.
And I mean, I think.
Bleeding penis.
If guys had periods out of their penises, I think we'd have a fair argument over who has it worse. But until then, I think girls take the cake, the period cake, as to who has the worst, the shorter stick.
Yeah, I think the one I'm trying to remember recently, because I still so at time of recording, episode hasn't been released, but will be released once this is released. We did a Halloween version of Boners versus Bleed Outs, and we had like at a pumpkin patch, and someone, I think 2 people actually, said boner would have been worse. I stick to with bleed out because that's kind of always my answer.
Boner or bleed out at a pumpkin patch?
Yeah, so like a family pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what if it's a normal Halloween and you get cold? It's cold out. So I was like, okay, boner can kind of go, as far as I know about, like, I don't know if that's correct. As if it's cold, boners just go away. Cold.
It's not. It's weird, because in my experience, it's not like, oh, it's cold, it's gone. Granted, I'm not going to disclose how often I've had a boner in cold weather.
Right.
But I mean, still, like, they don't. It's not like if it's cold, it's never gonna happen. It happens, I'm sure. I can probably testify from personal experience, right?
Yeah.
But still, like, boners aren't that hard to hide. You just sort of tuck it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like,
you can do the tuck. You can like, where you can put your hands in your pocket and kind of like.
Yeah, and like adjust it.
More. Yeah.
Like if you really want to be overt, you can just like tug at your pants. But then you can make it look like you're scratching your inner thigh, right? Or like adjusting your underwear, right? Tips for hiding your boners, ladies and gentlemen. Whereas for a bleed out, you can't tuck that away. It's not like when you get a boner, you have to change your underwear, right? Yeah. Hopefully. But if you bleed out, I mean, that's just like, it's not only uncomfortable, and it's not only, people will see, as far as I remember, blood is hard to get out of clothes, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't wash it immediately. So, like, that's potentially ruined wardrobe. A boner doesn't do that, usually. So
unless it's a really strong boner that just puts a hole right through.
I mean, right? Yeah. But that's only in fairy tales. Whatever fairy tales I'm reading, apparently. No, it's not in fairy tales. It's fantasy, is what I meant to. It doesn't exist. Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Bleed outs will always be worse because there's just so much more to them. You know.
Yeah, because even in the pumpkin patch situation, I was like, okay, quick fix, most creative and probably most complex. Get a pumpkin, cut a hole in it, stick your dick in it, and just hold it there until it's done.
Yeah, and then you're festive.
Yeah,
right.
And you make your dick smell like a pumpkin, and I don't know if that's something people enjoy.
I mean, there's pumpkin spice lattes, but I don't think it's the same thing. Like pumpkin flavored stuff is attractive to #basic white girls.
Right.
But I don't think that's applicable.
Can you just imagine,
yeah, I don't want to imagine whatever you're about to say. But go on.
She's like a basic girl to her basic boyfriend. She's like, oh my god, I love pumpkin spice. Well, yeah, bitch, I put my dick in a pumpkin. Happy October.
Happy October. Yeah.
Happy Halloween. My dick's in a pumpkin.
It's yeah.
You could also do that for Thanksgiving. It's like, my dick's in a pumpkin pie.
Or in the cornucopia.
In the cornucopia.
Right.
Dick in a cornucopia. That's, name of the episode.
So I mean, I guess, right. I guess it's a little more festive, but I mean, yeah. Again, with if that's the most complex fix, at least it's a fix. It's not like I've never been to a pumpkin patch. With my that's not a thing where I'm from. Mm-hmm. I don't even think pumpkins grow in Florida. Not in South Florida.
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so either.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
So I can't really relate to the experience, but I just imagine open field, no bathroom in sight, just pumpkins.
Yeah.
How do you fix bleed out? Do you create a pair of pants with the pumpkin? You cut out the top and then 2 holes on the bottom, and now you're just in the pumpkin.
Put little holes in
right.
One big pumpkin and just
it's my pumpkin pants. And then you taste like pumpkin. That was weird. That was much weirder out loud. This is something you learn if you know me. I'm very awkward, and I'll say a lot of things where I'll oh, this sounds funny in my head, and then I say it and I'm like, oh my god, I'm the weirdest. What is? I mean, some people like it. Some people think it's funny, but I catch myself on it all the time. So.
Oh, so the other one that was people were pretty split on it being boner versus bleed out.
Okay.
Is a first date, so that they were the argument was if he gets a boner on the first date, it's awkward, but then if she gets a bleed out on the first date and he's cool about it and helps her out, that's a good test, and if he's not worth it.
Oh yeah.
I would still say bleed out is probably worse. But.
So I will admit there are a lot more factors to this. So you can go through the I guess a traditional first date, or as what I would think of. It's you go out to dinner and then you take a walk in the park and then you sit down on a bench and you just talk under the starlight, right?
Very so romantic.
Ain't it? I've never done that before. I mean, I've
I don't think I've ever done that either. Actually, no, I didn't do that. Just that. I think I did that.
There were a few other things,
it was
but
private,
that is a nice first date idea, right? It's simple. There are 2 scenarios. You're at dinner, and you're sitting next to each other, or you're walking at a park.
Yeah.
And let's fit a hug scenario in there. So at dinner, the bleed out's going to be worse because a boner you can hide under the table. No one's ever going to know. And if you just leave it alone, it'll go away.
Yeah.
But with the bleed out, that's another thing. Boners go away. Bleed out doesn't go away. It's not like the blood just, evaporates.
It's
and it's not there anymore. Yeah. No. So the boner is under the table and it goes away and that's it. But the bleed out, do you feel it? Is that a thing you feel? It's oh, I just bled out.
Because that's how you, I guess that's your kind of first warning sign is you're like, oh shit. And then you kind of start feeling it coming. And then if you're really not paying attention like at all, you will just bleed all over the place, which I have done.
So
a myriad of times.
So yeah, let's say it goes all the way. We'll take both all the way, boners and bleed outs. A boner all the way will go away, and that's it. No one will know it's there. But a bleed out all the way is going to get, your underwear dirty, your pants dirty, probably your shirt dirty, the chair dirty, the floor if you bleed bad enough, and the boy's gonna know, everyone's gonna know, and yeah, it's a test to see if the guy's good about it's just a period, but I think the majority of guys would be like, oh my god, this is disgusting. Mm-hmm. And then leave,
And then the experience itself is just mortifying.
Yeah. I mean, just bleeding out. I mean, like that's a term for like dying, bleeding out. Bleeding out on a first date must be terrifying. Whereas a boner on the first date. So like the worst case situation I can think of with a boner is a hug. So if you go in for a hug and you have a boner and she feels the boner, one, he likes you, or at least is attracted to you, right? And then the girl can be like, "Oh, that's nice," or
sweet.
Yeah, right, or this pervert, and then like boo-hoo, the girl's a little creeped out because you're horny. Whereas with if you bleed out in a hug, you risk getting the guy's pants dirty with blood, and that's just, I mean, like, if that were to happen to me, like, I'd be super chill about it, like, because again, periods, they happen, and girls can't do it. Girls have to suffer through periods for like, what, 40, 45 years, something like that? Maybe more?
I think it's actually might be a little less than that, because I think when you're 40, you start getting, is when you start getting menopause.
Okay, I thought it was 50. But
maybe.
Whatever, it's a big number of a lot of years.
It might be 45.
Right? So like, if that were to happen to me, I'd be like, oh, that's, okay, we have to clean this. But it'd be like, okay, like, do you need, like, let's go to, like, a laundromat and, like, clean this. Yeah. I wouldn't be like demon spawn, like, get your blood off me, you what, like, that doesn't make sense to me.
You temptress?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think that relates. Like, with the boner, it's like, oh, you're like, turned on by me. Whereas with the bleed out, it's not like, oh, you're gonna sacrifice me. Like, it's just blood, right? It's not like you temptress. It's like, you bleed for me? How dare you? I'm waiting till marriage to bleed for someone, right? No, like, the worst case situation is you get blood on the other guy's clothes, and then if the guy's worth your time, if the guy's, like, creeped out by periods, he's not ready for a relationship. Yeah. Like, it's just, he's still 12 years old mentally, right? But, like, if a guy's, you bleed on his pants, he's like, okay, let's calm down. What do you need? Where are we going to get it? Like, he'll take you to, like, a Walmart and get you new pants, and you go to the bathroom. Then I think you said that's a pretty good test. Like, that guy's a keeper, at least for a few months. Until you find something else wrong with him. But no one's perfect.
No one's perfect. Right? You're right.
But yeah, like, in all those situations, dinner, walking through the park, sitting on a bench, hugging, even if you get to making out, which some people do on first dates, once you're already there, you're going to have a boner. That's how men work.
I was about to say, I feel like a boner could also tell what the course of the evening will. What is the course of the evening?
Right. I mean, sometimes you'll get a no-reason boner, and it's just there for no reason.
Asking permission from the opposite sex, can they be referred to as Rogue One boners?
I don't have an issue with it.
Cool.
I like no-reason boner just because it's a little more clear.
I see.
Right? Like, it's just a boner that's there. There's no reason to it. Guy can't do anything about it. He just has to wait for it to go down. But, like, that's the worst case situation scenario for boners. Whereas, I mean, the worst case scenario for bleed outs is, like, you just have red pants That's sort of what I imagine a bleed out, like, worst case scenario to be.
Yeah.
We've spent a lot of time on this topic.
But I liked this more than what I was going to have you do anyway. Or we were going to talk about anyway.
We had nothing planned, so...
Yeah.
Sorry to ruin the movie magic.
The illusion.
Or the podcast magic, but I just sat here in our fancy editing suite.
That's right.
Thing. And I'm like, okay, I'll talk to Mary about periods. I have nothing planned, so I'm glad we have this to talk about. Like, I'm glad it's not just awkward silence, which I've experienced before on first dates, right?
Oh no!
Like, I should talk about periods more on first dates. That way I won't have any more awkward silences.
Yeah. Just be like, so, are you on?
Do you bleed 4 days on your period, or is it more 7? How many tampons do I have to buy? Like, I think at that point, that'd even be... I mean, it'd be weird and out of the blue, and I don't think you should really do that. I think there are other things you can ask about the person before their period.
What movies do you like?
Yeah. Or, how, what's your family situation like? Where are you from?
What color is your discharge?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask that, but you feel free.
I think that you should just go to a date, or just really go anywhere, just with a fanny pack that's just full of tampons.
Yeah. Or just like, always have a tampon in my wallet.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
It pulls out a liner.
Yeah. When will that ever, like, be applicable to my life? I have no idea, but maybe someone will be like, oh, my period, blah blah blah, and I'll be like, have no fear, tampon man is here.
Tommy tampon.
Tommy the tampon man. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna write the story Tommy and Tammy tampon, and
I'm so excited.
They're gonna save many periods. And this was great. I thought that Tammy tampon's worst enemy was gonna be pregnancy. Preston came up with a better one, and he said menopause. I was like, I like it.
You're right. It's
a better enemy.
It's like the the conflict in Toy Story. It's like not being needed anymore. And then Tammy Tampon, isn't needed by, her human. It's so sad.
She's like Superman just flies into a vagina.
Right. And then, like, the end of the story will be like, the 50-year-old who just went through menopause and, like, giving her granddaughter a pack of tampons.
Her granddaughter.
And, like, Tammy Tampon, like, crying up, like, saying goodbye, and, like, the grandmother, like, runs her hands through the box and then passes it. And it's like Toy Story 3. I'd super watch that. I'd give it 2 thumbs up.
Wow. I want this story. I'll write it.
I fully support you. In any way I can.
Yeah. Where are we at? Let's see. Well, okay. Any final thoughts? Let's do final thoughts. Unless you have any other things.
Any other stories?
Because all of them are great.
Oh, thanks. Well, I guess final thoughts, guys. Guys who listen to this, don't be ignorant a-holes. Periods suck. We'll never understand them. That's something I've been pretty strongly about. We will never understand how bad girls have it, because we're never gonna give birth to a 7-pound, 8-pound human being. And we're never gonna have to go through labor or a C-section or anything like that. Sure, we'll have lots of bad stuff, but girls go through lots of terrible. Life throws a lot of bad things to girls, and they have to deal with it. So, don't be mean. If your girlfriend or your friend who is a girl is a bit pissy or is in a bad mood or is PMSing or whatever, offer to buy her like a chocolate bar or something.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
sweet. That's another, like. Here, I haven't experienced that, but back home, like, I have the guys in my group of friends, the guys who are nerds and they play video games and they have never had girlfriends. They make all these jokes. They're so mean. about girls and stuff, but like girls have to go through a lot. Like if anything, you should just be like just super. I lost the word I was trying to use. Like, I guess supportive. Like if you ever have a girl who's a friend or a girlfriend or a lady friend, even however you want to say that, they go through more shit than you ever will, in terms of your personal hygiene. You're
right.
Ask on a first date. You should ask, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Do you like dark chocolate or milk chocolate? Tampons or pads, right?
Right after, just follow-up question.
Right.
And then she's
do you like having sex? No.
Do you like it current later? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need a chocolate bar now?
Leaves restaurant to go get
Netflix and chill or Amazon Plus and chill?
Oh. Hulu.
I don't know if that's a thing.
Hulu and Hangout.
Hulu and Hangout. What would be one for Amazon?
Amazon and be present with one another.
Well, it has to be with an A.
Oh, you're right.
Let's not spend too much time on that. There aren't a lot of like terms for hanging out that start with A.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, okay. So if there's a revision, if there is a correction, and we find one, come back, record it.
I'll come back.
Add it to the end of the episode.
Yeah. But we have. I mean, I guess Netflix and chill is N and C. So Amazon Plus doesn't have to be with an A. Hulu and Hangout, Amazon Plus and
Snuggle.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, yeah, Amazon Plus has a lot of content that is good for snuggling. Right. I think Netflix and chill is a pretty dirty term. I don't like Netflix and chill.
I don't like when it's
I mean, I don't like when chill means more than chill.
Right. Just
right. Like I don't want to like portray myself as this super cutesy romantic person, but like every time I think of Netflix and chill, it's like Netflix and bake cookies. Not for the girl, but because I fucking love cookies. Right?
You own independent man.
I do bake my own cookies. I haven't recently, but I should. I do. Yeah. So yeah, those are the if you go on a date with a girl that you've known or that you just met, ask their favorite ice cream flavor is a very important question. If you intend for this to be more than short term.
Nice.
That's my humble opinion.
My used to be my first date question was if you could have dinner with 3 people, living or dead, because then I can gauge
who like their role models are.
If they can like uphold a good conversation based on the people they would invite to dinner.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know who I invite to dinner. I mean, so I play video games and I like video games and stuff. So it'd probably be like Shigeru Miyamoto, who's one of the creative directors at Nintendo. Yeah. And he made like The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario and Donkey Kong and all that stuff. So I definitely have and be like, how did those ideas? Wow. I'd probably wow. I'd probably hang out, go to dinner with Thomas Aquinas. He's pretty cool. Or St. Augustine or Augustine, however you pronounce that. Really most saints I'd be interested in hanging out with.
I'd have dinner with Joan of Arc too. I think she's so cool.
She's really badass. If I can be as much of a badass as Joan of Arc, I think I'd have my life pretty well set, right?
We all would. Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. Third person. So I have the game designer, the saint, and
Mussolini.
Hitler. Why? Like it'd just be Miyamoto, myself, and Joan of Arc like beating up Hitler.
Right.
Over pizza.
Is that what the dinner would be?
That's what we'd have pizza. I mean, who doesn't like pizza?
There's the people who like I'll ask that question to them and they're like, Hitler, just because I want to know like what was he thinking? And I was like, you're not even considering the fact that he would be a terrible dinner guest. He'd be so
terrible.
rude. He'd be so rude.
He'd be rude. He'd criticize you for all of your meal choices. He'd say your food is undercooked. Probably.
He'd have like such a picky diet, probably.
Yeah, he was a vegetarian.
So like,
I'd never eat dinner with a vegetarian. That's not
never.
true. That's not true. I like vegetarians can be cool.
As long as they're not Nazis.
As long as they're not vegans. Ugh. I'm kidding. I'm not intolerant to any type of lifestyle.
Unless that vegetarian is Hitler.
Unless they're Hitler.
Then.
If you're Nazi, we're probably not going to be friends. I'll give you a try. Because you are still human.
That's good.
But I'm just saying chances are kind of low, right?
We couldn't go places. We
yeah, definitely.
I don't really know what to do.
I'm not sure who the third, because I mean there's so many people. I feel like Jesus would be a cop out, right? I mean like
he'd be a great dinner guest.
He'd be amazing. Like who better, right? It's like tell me about everything.
And you'd have wine.
You'd never run out of wine.
Yeah, you could order water at the table.
It'd be free, right? You don't have to rely on the free bread.
He'll go. Check this out.
Yeah,
zap
exactly.
Some wine.
Well, I don't want to think about dinner with Jesus as a magic show, but
what? I didn't mean to make it.
I know.
Sound like Chris Angel.
Right. No, but I mean, yeah. So I feel like Jesus is a cop out. It's like when people use examples of like virtuous people, they don't go to Jesus, they go to any of the saints. Because like, well, yeah, Jesus obviously, but here's Mary. Wow, what? Mother Teresa, Mary, Mother Teresa. They're similar. Mm-hmm. I'd probably hang out with Mother Teresa. She seems like.
Would she eat dinner?
I mean, yeah, like I don't think she'd be like, I'm not going to accept what you give me. Right?
Okay.
Like she's not gonna be like, oh, let's eat at, this 5-star restaurant. No, she's like, oh, where do you like? If we go to like Papa John's or like California Pizza Kitchen, she'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, and I'll help pay. Like I think she'd accept food,
Yeah.
Like she's not like, no, we can't eat, this like, yeah, she's all about the poor, but she's not like, well, there are people in the world who haven't eaten, so I can't eat yet, right? Yeah. I think she'd accept, what you offer.
Because I can't remember if she had this particular like fasting kind of diet. I don't know if I remember that.
I have to admit I'm not as knowledgeable on most of the saints as I should be, but I mean still like. Let's say Jesus, he wouldn't like if you offer Jesus food, he wouldn't be like, no, there's injustice, no food for me, Yeah.
He becomes the soup Nazi from Seinfeld.
Yeah, right.
Nothing for me.
Yeah. Miyamoto, Mother Teresa, and St. Thomas Aquinas.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good dinner table.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
At time of recording, mine is Malala, Kevin Spacey, David Bowie.
Much more contemporary.
Yeah.
Than mine. I mean, there's just so many people.
I had a religion teacher who asked that question too, and he said Hitler, Stalin, and Mussolini. And I was like, why? No. He didn't say Mussolini. He said the devil. And I was like, why in the world would you have dinner with 3 of the same people?
Right. I think dinner with the devil. One sounds like a good name of a song.
That's a Rolling Stones song. Guaranteed.
Well, there we go.
At least that should be.
I don't listen to the Rolling Stones. I'm sorry. If you want to show me Rolling Stones, be my guest. But I've just never come across them. But yeah, dinner with the devil just seems. I mean, I'd be terrified, right?
What would you?
Because. I mean, he'd be kind of annoying because it'd all just be lies.
Yeah,
right?
Nothing would be interesting.
Like, he just makes stuff up, and I'm like, really? Just get out.
I'd just be annoyed.
Yeah. I'm sure, all of the, Stalin, Mussolini, Hitler, I'm sure they they're all fierce on the outside, but on the inside they have like all these pathologies and things that just make them like really pathetic people. I think dinner with them would be, it might be interesting for a little bit, but I think overall it'd be like really just underwhelming and pathetic.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I feel like if they were like the table across and I was just like, hey guys, and just and then but they weren't at like my dinner table.
Yeah, like
fine.
They're like a spectacle to behold. Like, oh, that's Hitler. What a terrible douchebag.
Wow.
Right.
Glad I'm not having dinner with that.
It's like looking at him with binoculars. It's like there he goes down Niagara Falls and he's dead again.
Wow.
Right. That's what I'd be up for.
I can't believe seeing him die again made me the same amount of happy.
Right. I can watch it over and over and over, and it's just, man, so satisfying.
Wow.
Right. But enough about Hitler and I don't like talking about Hitler. It brings my mood down.
My family has personal beef with Hitler. We were Polish, and some of us fought in World War II.
Wow.
Yeah, we had some personal beef. My relative John Turpak, who you can look up, John Turpak lifted for America. He was a Polish immigrant that lifted for the United States in the 1939 Olympics. And we weren't actually gonna go, but then kind of more like California was pushing it, New York wasn't. Was like, no, go to the Olympics because it's not political. But it kind of ended up being political. And as far as I know, Hitler didn't put a medal on my relative because he was Catholic. As far as I know.
Wow.
But yeah, you can look him up, John Turpak.
Fuck you, Hitler.
Fuck Hitler. Yeah, we don't like Hitler.
Here on Tampon Talk, we are not a fan of fascism or Nazis.
Official Tampon Talk update. We do not support fascism. Again, yes.
I'm glad we cleared this up.
That was hanging. That was never talked about.
A lot of people were hanging in suspense. Yeah.
They were like, "Is she a Nazi sympathizer?" And now they know. Absolutely not.
I don't think Hitler would be super comfortable talking about periods. I think he'd be one of those guys who's like, "What? No, I don't want to talk about this." He's not going to ask you for your favorite flavor of ice cream on your first date.
No, he would not.
No, he'd be a terrible date. I don't know how Eva stood him.
Well.
So yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see where this conversation turned.
Yeah.
And I'd like to go back up. I'd like to
get away from Hitler.
Yeah. Let's maybe someone better you'd go to dinner with, or brunch. Is that different?
I don't know. Would your people change if you? We're like, would your people change if it was a brunch or like whatever dinner it was?
Yeah. Right. It'd probably be like, so like in the morning, I'm probably not. So like, I'd love to go to dinner with, St. Thomas Aquinas, because toward night, and I mean most of the day, but mostly at night, like I'm super into philosophy and like intellectual discussion and stuff.
Yeah.
But in the morning, it'd probably be more like, Gandhi, right?
Oh, a little brunch with Gandhi.
Yeah, like brunch with Gandhi.
A little some mimosas with Gandhi.
Yeah, Gandhi.
That's a good name for the episode, is Mimosas with Gandhi.
Well, we had another one. I don't remember what it was. You can look at it when you edit.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Gandhi, Moses. I think Moses would be super cool to have brunch with. Moses is also a runner-up for dinner. Abraham Lincoln. That'd be cool.
At breakfast?
Yeah, or Martin Luther King.
Both of them seem like early risers. Both of them.
Right.
Abe Lincoln gets up in the morning and watches the sunrise, and then
out of his log cabin in Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he puts his top hat on, chops some logs.
Now it's time to
free some slaves.
Free the slaves.
Yeah. Sip some tea. All right, time to free the slaves.
Let me go talk to Harriet.
Actually,
Is she out of period?
Right. Sort of second guessing. I think if I were to go to dinner with someone like Thomas Aquinas or Aristotle, I'd love to also go to dinner with like Richard Dickens.
Oh.
Is it Dawkins? Richard
Dawkins.
Dickens. I'm probably thinking of
Richard Nixon.
No, it's a mixture of Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens. Richard Dickens.
Ta-da.
But anyway, so like one of like a really prominent atheist, or like Bill Maher, like a really prominent atheist, and like a super well versed theologian philosopher. So like, Aquinas and Dawkins, or Bishop Robert Barron and Bill Maher, or yeah, like someone like, I think that'd be super cool.
I'll tag him. I'll tag Bill in it.
Bill, yeah.
Just be like,
cool.
Hey, have dinner with this guy.
Yeah. I don't think he'd ever do it.
I don't think he would either.
Yeah. Oh well. But like it'd be super, like if I can just have him at a table, that'd be super interesting to just be like, yeah.
Tell
me more.
Right? Tell me more, please. Just more.
Tell me more.
Yeah, so that's dinner and brunch. Yeah, brunch is a bit more, like social justice. I guess Martin Luther King and Gandhi.
I'm
be
okay.
like, so I'm planning a peaceful, revolt. Do those work?
Peaceful revolt.
A peace demonstration.
I was gonna.
What's?
I was gonna say it might be an oxymoron.
I think so too. That's why I paused. But like I'm planning a peace demonstration. What are your opinions? And like just take notes for like an hour.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool. Over brunch, over some toast and sunny side up eggs.
He'd have a very simple
mimosas.
breakfast, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think he's a very humble man.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get. I think he'd be too humble to even get like eggs Benedict. Like I think he's just. If you can get eggs and maybe scramble them, that's fine with me. Hell, you don't even have to put them in the pan. I'll just take the raw egg just because I don't want you to go through all that work.
Which group of people would you be more interested talking about your period?
Ooh.
Social justice warrior, or not social? They're not social justice warriors, but like people for, human rights and social justice and stuff, or like philosophers and theologians and stuff. It's interesting.
I would want.
I think you'd get a lot of different inputs. Right, from like Thomas Aquinas, Summa Tamponologica.
Because
that's a stupid joke. Please never repeat that.
Didn't he write something like about women wearing makeup and like deceiving their husbands or something like that?
Aquinas?
I think so.
I don't know. Maybe.
I would just be curious to see what he'd say about periods.
Right. I'd like to think he'd be one of those chill people who's like, oh yeah, periods happen, whatever. Right. But maybe not. Yeah, maybe they understood things different. Well, again, like if you were to take someone like Aquinas now and be like, yeah, you have these tampons that really help with periods, and you think back to what they had. I'm sure they had something. They had to have had something. But like I'm sure it's much dirtier and not as easy to do.
Or maybe just women were pregnant all the time.
Yeah, you'd get pregnant, so you didn't have periods.
There you go.
That's why there's so many kids in the back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that'd be very interesting. Ask Thomas Aquinas, boners or bleed outs. That'd be a very interesting
oh my God.
conversation.
In one of your lectures, boners versus bleed outs.
Yeah. In your next sermon, could you just slip that in there at the end? Yeah. Wow.
Well. Should we wrap? I think we're probably pretty.
Yeah, we said half an hour. I've given you 2 for the price of 1.
I love it.
I'm a very generous guest. I'm the
You're
guest.
The captain now.
Look at me. I'm the captain now. Yeah. No, this is not my podcast. And nor should it be, because I wouldn't be able to talk about periods every time I have a period. Because I don't have periods.
You'd never release an episode.
Right? Oh, that'd be so sad.
Oh.
So you keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep listening.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm glad we got to talk about all these wonderful things.
This was so cool.
Yeah. To end, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Ooh, mint chocolate chip currently.
Mint chocolate chip?
I love mint chocolate.
I don't like mint, but I'll keep that in mind.
Oh.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Ooh, dark chocolate.
Good choice.
Yeah, because I don't know, milk chocolate just gives me like a headache now.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like too sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
I like all chocolate.
I mean, like, I'll eat it, but like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But cool. So, yeah, to make it the final point, guys, ask your first dates, or your second dates, or your third dates. Just ask your lady friends, what's their favorite flavor of ice cream and what kind of chocolate do they like. I think they'd appreciate it.
They would.
Oh.
That's so sweet. Oh, you're gonna be all these women are gonna listen to it. They're gonna be like, oh my god, what a great guest.
I am single, so.
Ayo.
Maybe I'll be asking you what your favorite flavor of ice cream is.
Wow.
Favorite favorite flavor. There we go.
I love it.
So.
If Tampon Talk could bring you and a special someone together, that would make me so happy.
I would immediately let you know.
Oh, yes. Cool. That's a good final thought.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Did you have anything to plug, by the way, or?
Oh,
you can plug.
Well, I don't have. So, we go to JP Catholic, and film students have all these films. I'm a game design student. I haven't made games, but not yet anyway. I'm trying to work on that. But if you hear this sometime in the future, on Mary's YouTube channel when I am making games, my company, to be company, will be Psychotic Studios, minus the P and the H, because I think they're unnecessary. So SYCOTIC Studios. That's probably where I'll be putting games and art and stuff like that. Nice. So and that's, I have a Facebook page that has nothing on it.
Nice.
I have an Instagram with one picture. Right? I'm doing so good.
Yes.
So hopefully in the next year or so, there's going to be a lot more content on those two things. I actually have a website, psychoticgames.com.
Nice.
With, again, nothing on it. I just have the domain name. It's sort of waiting for me to put stuff on there.
Nice.
But yeah, in the next few years, there will definitely be a lot more stuff on there. So if you're interested in video games and periods, I'll make a video game about periods.
Tammy Tampon, the video game.
Yeah, it'll be period awareness.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, a little
Tampon
yeah, like
simulator.
Like interactive VR, instructional video game, how to insert a tampon. Guys get to feel the awkwardness. That'd be weird. I'll work on it. I'll write up some game ideas.
Oh, I so dig it.
So, cool.
And for you listeners, make sure you follow our social media. Tampon Talk W Mary on Twitter and Instagram. And email me your period inquiries. I want to hear about your period. Or your boner. I'll listen about your boner. Whatever you want.
Just no pictures.
No pictures.
No dick pics. That's disgusting.
That's my only hard no.
Only,
no pun.
Only stories.
Only stories.
Stories or tampon terrors. That was a fun segment.
Send me your tampon terrors.
Yeah.
tampontalkwithmary@gmail.com. That's right. I got it. Cool. Well, thank you for being on.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me. I'll be sure to listen for all your episodes.
Yes.
I'll try to follow, and you should too, listener.
Hey, just one single listener.
Yeah, just you. You know who I'm talking about.
Cool.
All right, cool.
Well, yeah. Thanks for listening. And if you're a man who sympathizes with a woman, good for you. And if you're a woman, keep on bleeding. And we'll see you next time on Tampon Talk with Mary. X's and O's.